That means that there are 15 5-point questions because that is my X value. And there are 35 2-point questions on the exam. So these are the steps that if you need, you may want to write onto your note card to solve for a system of equations using the matrix method. You can also graph it. But first, you have to convert this into slope-intercept form, which I think you guys know fairly well. The first one's fairly easy because you just have to move your x to the other side. Y is equal to 50 minus x, and let's do the same thing to the other equation. Now, unfortunately, this time we do still have a 2 in front of the y, so we also need to divide by 2, leaving us with some ugly fractions, but that's okay. Let's go ahead and get to graphing. Of course, you don't want to save that. And this time we're going to go ahead and add a graph. So depending where you're at, it's either B or 2. So you're going to type your equations, but notice I put a little down arrow. Make sure you arrow down to get to your next equation, f of 2. And then once you have your second equation in, you can go ahead and push enter. Now, notice that you can't see anything yet, so go to your menu button, and then select option number 4 because we want to zoom, and we want to do a zoom fit, so go ahead and push the letter A. Give it a moment to think, and we have our 2 lines. But I don't see where they intersect, which is really important to solving a system of linear equations. So step 4, I want you to actually drag the screen by holding this down, and let's go ahead and scoot it over, and oh, there it is. Push enter. Then I want you to select menu, analyze, and obviously we're going to select 4 for intersect. Now again, use your arrow to toggle because it's asking us if we are at the lower bound. So I want to kind of scooch this over so that we're on the left side, then click. And then it states that it wants the upper bound, which that means the right side. So I'm going to again toggle over, and you notice how it highlights there, and I click down on it. And it literally gives us our intersecting points. A little hard to see there, but it's also 15, 35. That's another way you can find your answer. So last problem, number 10, you can find on page 29, of course. Now, this one was kind of last minute adding it on there because it's so fresh. You guys shouldn't need too much help with it, but let's go ahead and begin. Remember, step 1 is to get our absolute value bars alone. Now, technically, I have a negative 1 in front of these absolute value bars that is being multiplied by those bars. So rather than distributing it and making our life awful, we're simply going to get rid of it by using its inverse operation of division. So let's divide both sides by negative 1, leaving us with the absolute value of x minus 5. I remember that if I divide an inequality by a negative, according to page 24, this sign should flip. So now that my absolute value bars are alone, and I did flip my sign since I divided by a negative, let's go ahead and split this into my positive and negative versions. Now, the way that's going to look for an inequality is we're just going to drop everything down minus the inequality symbol for this positive version, but for the negative version, I'm just going to repeat the exact same inequality symbol, but with the negative 3. So now we just have one step to isolate our variable, and that's to remove the constant of negative 5 by adding 5 to all the sides. This is now eliminated, and I have 2 is less than or equal to x, which is less than or equal to 8. And that's my final answer on my calculator portion. Remember, your note card, you can be filled up front to back, only one note card. pen, pencil. If you want, you can laminate it because then you can maybe draw with an expo marker on top of it. It is going to be a test grade that you will turn in with your exam on either Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, whichever day that you are having your exam. Should you have any additional questions or concerns, specifically first and ninth period, just send me a text or shoot me an email through Google. Best of luck, y'all.